Hello and welcome once again. This is a part of my continuing series on Shadow World, and this is the last of the uh, Loremaster series that 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 is the prelude to Shadow World. This is the world of Vogmur. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Vogmur, Vogmur. Uh, it is a tropical islands just north of another large continent, south of Jaimin, south of the lands of Tanara, very far south of the lands of the Iron Wind. Um, this is the island has some importance, but does not have the central role in the creation of the setting to the degree that both the Iron Wind and the Cloud Lords of Tanara have. In fact, it doesn't seem to have very much to do with lore masters, navigators, or the Unlife, the Iron Wind. Uh, it it's written in first person, the bulk of it, because this is again a Pete Finlan uh, uh, setting, so it's written in the voice of Elor Onestark, who is the narrator of the Iron Wind, and it does have some pretty good stuff. It's a decent thing. It's not as decent setting. Um, has a little bit more in common. It almost seems like it almost seems like it just seems to be more or less a pastiche of something that would appear in something that in Tolkien, even though it was obviously not designed or created by Tolkien. Elor in this, there's supposed to be an image of him. Elor in this is more. It's more of a travelogue. His tone is not as dark since there's the unlife is so much more prevalent in the Iron Wind, and the sense of impending doom and the demon-haunted lands of Merphostasir lend themselves to a much darker tone. Not that this is a there's a little bit of there's a little hints of whimsy here, but for the most part, it carries out the sort of pseudo Tolkien-esque setting. This is the fortress of Inkla Turek, which is the seat of Vorig Kai. I believe he's just called Vorig in this book. Eventually, he would be called Vorig Kai, and Vorig Kai is one of the Dragon Lords, which I will eventually get into, of Shadow World. One of the most important elements and one of the coolest elements are the Shadow Lords. But I just wanted to show probably the most interesting thing about this are Pete Finland's very clean. Let me see if I can get that in focus. If I can do it. I want it to go in focus. Come on, focus for me. There it is. Sorry. That's very clean maps. They're not. They're not. They're lovely maps, and I have a dislike of color maps for at the table use. I love black and white maps when it comes to interiors, dungeons, and the like. And as you see, there's these texts over here, and again, as you see, that these are places that are supposed to be inhabited. These are not dungeon crawls for the most part. Some of them are. Some of them can be used that way, and certainly you can infiltrate them in an adventure or whatever. But these are not. This is not the Caves of Chaos in design. This is much closer to a setting resource. It's just Pete Finland just loved drawing these amazing maps and putting them in his work. This would be carried through with all his Middle Earth stuff. There are some lovely maps, not just by him, of course, but also by Terry Amthor and other people who were hired, many of whom were did excellent work in this sort of style. As you notice, there's no grid on these maps. There's usually a scale for them, but there's never, almost never a grid. Here's one of Terry and especially Pete's obsessions with putting nice vocabularies, these dictionaries of imaginary languages, which when I get to the Shadow World, I will definitely be focusing a lot on. And Murray Elven is important to the setting. It actually is one of the many things that carries over very well into Shadow World. And this is pretty much it for this book. Here are the islands of Vogmore, which are not very big. If you look at the scale here on this map here, and these words have meanings in Elvish, in the Murray Elven language, and yeah, that was I went through this one pretty quickly because I don't really have too much to say about this. It never has been a big, super important part of my setting. The Vorigkai, who dwells upon on these islands and is the master of these islands, takes this form when he's in human form. It's one of two human forms he has, but in reality he is the mighty silver dragon Vorigkai, one of the dragon lords, and one of the many super interesting and I think to the view of a detractor, overpowered NPCs that haunt this setting, but I actually love them. I view them with the exact opposite way I would view Elminster and Kelvin and all the rest of the big overpowered NPCs in the Forgotten Realms. Have a much stronger affinity for the powerful NPCs of this setting. This setting has a much more focused narrative, though I don't like using that word that gets used as a pejorative by OSR types. And when it comes to to the game, I am anti-narrative. I'm anti-narrative, but I do believe in a narrative or a meta-narrative or a meta-plot for the setting can be very, very useful and helpful. Anyway, that's I'm going to end before I get to 10 minutes here, just blathering, and I hope to see you in the next video.